Okay, guys, a very good afternoon all. So, coming to today's session. So, today's session would be on exceptional handling. Exceptional handling would be today's session, guys. So, uh, anything else? Hope you are able to listen my voice. Everything is clear, fine. Hope you are able to see the screen. Yes, please. Okay, good. So as discussed in the previous sessions, we are going to see few topics in it, like limitation of error handling. Okay. Then we are going to see the topic under it, like what are the advantages of using exceptional handling. Okay. So advantages of using exceptional handling. Then we are also going to see types of errors, because we usually come across a lot of different types of errors. Then how do we handle this question again? Then we'll see like basics of exceptional handling. So basic concepts of exception handling. Then followed by, we'll again try to see, we'll look into like some keywords which we usually use in combination with exceptional handling, like try, catch, then throw. Okay, then throws. Okay, then finally. And we will also see like what happens in each keyword, like what is the functionality of that. Okay, then we'll see some programs. We'll also see some case studies. Okay. So case study problems onto it. So this is what we are going to see as part of exceptional handling, guys. Okay. So can someone tell me like what do you mean by an exception handling? What do you mean by an exception handling? Any idea? Any idea, guys? Exceptional handling. So usually we used to call errors, right? Till yesterday we were getting some errors. Were you handling those errors? Did you handle that errors? No, right? Handling in the sense, are you giving some, are you giving some meaningful message to the end user is my question. Yes, absolutely, Vamshi. Did we do that? Did we do that till yesterday? Did we handle that errors, and did we give some meaningful message to the end user saying like, boss, this is what happening in your message, so please check it out? We haven't, right? Okay. In simple, I'm just writing here. Okay. If you go with exceptional handling, it's nothing but process of converting. Okay. Converting system error message, okay, into user friendly error message. Okay, so this is nothing but your exceptional handling in simple. Okay, so the one of the popular feature of Java to handle your runtime errors and maintain normal flow of Java program is nothing but exception handling. Okay, so to you can say like to handle, okay, to handle runtime errors and maintain normal flow of execution. Right, guys? Sir, what kind of exceptions? We usually get exceptions at the time of execution of program. maybe user has not entered. Okay, user has not entered maybe valid data. Okay, he has not given valid input. Okay, or maybe user is trying to access some file and is not able to locate that file not found. Exceptions. So there are plenty of exceptions again here down the line. So on the whole, if you want to conclude, so you can conclude this exception and saying like an exception is an event which occurs during the execution of a program. Okay, I'm repeating again. An exception is an event which occurs during the execution of a program that disrupts the normal flow of program instructions. Clear? Okay. So there are plenty again. If you see, like, you'll also get a lot of times we usually face this problem, like, division by zero error. Okay. Division by zero error. Okay. So usually we don't handle it. Now down the line, what we do is we handle this errors in the form of an exception. Okay. So structure goes like this. You will have a try block. Okay. When I say block, so opening and closing. Okay. Then you will write your body of try block. Then similarly, you'll have catch block. Okay. Then you will have body of catch block. So in this catch, you'll be writing exception. Then followed by exception object. Then the body of your catch block. Okay, guys. So if you look at the diagram, if you look at the hierarchy, you'll have your topmost class of your exception as throwable class. Okay. If you look at the hierarchy structure, so the topmost class would be throwable class. THROWABLE, throwable class. So this is going to act as a root for your Java exception hierarchy, guys. Okay. So where this throwable class will consist of all your exceptions and errors. Exceptions and errors. Again, in detail, if you want to go into this, then again this throwable will be again considering of two classes. Okay, if you look at the hierarchy of that. Fine. So anyhow, we will discuss like what are this hierarchy. Then we again tell checked exception, unchecked exceptions. Okay. So what is checked exceptions? Exception, and then you'll have unchecked exceptions. Okay. Of course, both classes are from exception class again. Right. So we will discuss in detail like what all classes we have and what type of exceptions do we encounter under this. Okay. Then as discussed, like as part of handling the exceptions. Handling the exceptions. So here we are going to see introduce, get introduced with try, then followed by catch, then followed by finally, then followed by throws. Okay, then followed by throw. These 5 keywords we are going to get introduced, guys. Try, catch, finally, then throws, then throw. Okay. So when you come to handling the exception, what happens is this, exception is again nothing but converting your system error message, generated error message into user friendly error message, what we have seen at the starting of our class. Okay. So whenever an exception occurs in Java program, please understand, whenever an exception occurs in Java program, JVM will create an object of an appropriate exception. Okay. And then it generates some system error message. Okay. So whatever message you are going to generate, that would be understood by your end user. Okay. So that you are making your application more user friendly. Okay. So that end user is not shutting down his application abruptly. Okay. You're giving him a message saying like, boss, you have to use some operating system specific version, or maybe the data value is not string, you have to enter integer. Okay. Maybe email ID. Okay. So you're specifying, when you're divising, you're telling boss, you're not supposed to do this because division by 0 is not possible. Okay. Clear? So you're just giving him such kind of hint. So let's move with this blocks and let's understand in detail how it works, and the control flow of try, catch, finally, throws and throws. Okay, we'll first see the combination of control flow with respect to try and catch block. Okay, we'll see with respect to try and catch block. So I'm just writing here try. Okay, then followed by maybe statement 1. Okay, then statement 2, statement 3. Then immediately I'm going to write my catch block, then followed by exception E. Okay, exception object. Then I'm going to write statement 4 under catch block. And after catch block, I'm going to write one more statement, statement 5. Okay. This is the code which I'm asking you guys now. Now tell me, so maybe like case 1, let us understand point by point. So case 1, imagine if there is no exception, there's no exception in this code, block of code. So tell me which all statements will be executed. Imagine there is no exception, what all statements will be executed? Will it be a normal termination or abnormal termination? Okay, before that let me tell you, try block is a block where we will be writing the doubtful code. Okay, whatever code you feel like there's a doubt in it, or there might be a chances of errors in it, we will write that statements in the try block. Okay, and the catch block is nothing but error handling. Okay, you're going to handle that error in the form of exception through your catch block. This statement 5 is out of catch block. Now tell me, if there is no exception in this try block, imagine. Okay, then tell me what all statements will be executed. You can mark your answers in the chat box. Hurry up. One, two, three, five. Sai Teja. Okay. Bhumika also says 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Okay. Any other answers? Okay. So what's happening here? Control is going inside the try block. Checking out with the statement 1. As we said, there is no any problem. There's no exception at all. So fine. Statement 1 get executed. Then statement 2 also there is no exception. Statement 3 also there is no exception, right? So all these three statements got executed. How about statement 4? Why nobody is giving answer me as statement 4? As I said, there is no exception at all. Yes, Sai Teja, Bhumika, Srinitya. Please understand, guys. Whenever there is exception in the try block, only then the control will move to the catch block. As there is no exception in the try block, so control will not go to the catch block. Okay. So if there are any other statements after that, then it will execute that, else it is going to terminate the program, right? So here it is not going to this catch block, so hence statement 4 will not be executed, statement 5 will be executed. So answer is 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, and it is normal termination only. It is not an abnormal termination. Fine. Let me come with case 2. Case 2, imagine if an exception is raised at statement 2. If an exception is raised at statement 2, and imagine corresponding catch block, okay, is matched. Okay, imagine exception is raised at statement 2 and corresponding catch block is matched. Tell me what all statements will be executed, and is it a normal termination or abnormal termination? Yes, guys, come on, hurry up. Srinitya says 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. Okay. Any others? 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, Srija. Next. Bhumika 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay. Please read the questions carefully. If an exception is raised at statement 2 and corresponding catch block is matched. Guys, what happens here? See, I said an exception is raised at statement 2. So obviously there is no problem with statement 1. So I am entering statement 1. Now the exception is raised at statement 2 and I said it is matching with the corresponding catch block. Okay. Immediately what happens, as error, as exception is raised here, it is not going to execute this entire story. It will directly come to the catch block. Okay, fine. And as I said, it has matched with the catch block, so number 4 is going to get executed. Sir, how about 3? Okay, see, you got exception here. Whenever I get an exception, that's it. The entire rest of the story is gone. That's it. Okay, it is least bothered now. I got an exception and it has matched. I have resolved. That's it. Okay, it might be n number of lines after that. I am least bothered now. Okay, it has matched, so I have executed statement 4. Then after 4, I have 5. So I have done. My job is done. Okay, and it is also normal termination as it has matched. Understood, guys? Okay. So that's the reason water you feel doubtful cold, that only has to be put up in the try block. You feel like sometimes there might be a chance of getting an exception, you can write in the catch block. I mean, try block. Okay. But definitely you need to handle that in the catch block. Else it would be an abnormal termination. Understood, guys? Please respond. Case number 3. Imagine if an exception, okay, is raised at statement 2 and corresponding, okay, catch block is not matched. Yes, guys. Now what's your answer? Now the corresponding catch block is not matched. An exception got raised at statement 2. Come on, guys. Fantastic, Pravalika. Fantastic, ma. Jadav, you have tried, but I said it has not matched with the catch block. That you have to keep in point, Jadav and Srinitya. Okay. So statement 1 will get executed. Okay. I said at statement 2 we have encountered an error, so obviously here it is going to stop, and then it has come to catch block, but it is not matching with the catch block, so 2, 3, 4 are not getting executed as it has not matched with the corresponding catch block, so it would be an abnormal execution. Okay, right? I have another case to you. Let's see how many of them are going to give me the answer. If an exception raised at statement 4, or you can also tell statement 5. Okay, now what happens? Imagine an exception is raised at statement 4 or statement 5. Come on. Absolutely. Okay, leave out 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 are fine. Okay, now the problem is at statement 4 or statement 5. So absolutely you'll be getting an abnormal situation in this case. Abnormal situation has got encountered. Okay, understood, guys? So what conclusions can we make from this? Conclusions can we make from this? Yes, come on. First conclusion, within the try block, if anywhere, okay, exception is raised, then rest of the try block, okay, rest of the try block, rest of the try block will be executed or will not be executed? Come on, guys. Will it be executed or will it not be executed? Within the try block, if anywhere exception is raised, yes, absolutely. Okay, so it won't be executed. Okay, even though we handle exception. Okay, next conclusion. So on the first point, I'm just telling you, Hence, try block should be as less as possible. Because why? Because imagine there is 100 lines of code, you somewhere got error at fourth line, that's it. Okay, the rest of the lines of code will not be executed. Okay, and you'll be writing only the risk code in the try block. Okay. Hmm. So apart from try block, there might be also chances of raising an exception in the catch block, and also finally also, okay, we'll anyhow see some more case studies, right? So we have also seen in case 4 also the same. Hmm? Then final conclusion, what we made it, if any statement, okay, raises, okay, raises an exception which is not part of try block, okay, then it is always an abnormal situation. Okay, clear? Understood, guys? Understood? Are you all clear? Please respond to me. Yes, guys? Okay, perfect. Okay, as you responded yes, now I have some other case study to you. Let's see how many of them are going to answer me. You have try, okay, then statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, then you have catch block, in that you have statement 4, and you have immediately finally block, in which you have statement 5. Okay, then I have next statement called statement 6 after finally block. Okay, please write down this code. Now case 1, question is, questions to you will come back to me tomorrow session. If there is no exception, okay, tell me what all statements will be executed and whether it is normal condition or abnormal condition. Okay, case 2, okay, if an exception is raised at statement 2 and corresponding catch block is matched, okay, then tell me what all statements will be executed, whether it is normal or abnormal condition. Okay, then case 3, if the exception is raised, okay, if the exception is raised at statement 2 and corresponding catch block is not matched, okay, tell me what all statements get executed and whether it is normal situation or abnormal termination. Okay, then case 4, if an exception is raised at statement 4, okay, then tell me what all statements will be executed and whether it is normal or abnormal. Similarly, if an exception is raised at statement 5 or statement 6, okay, tell me what all statements are executed and whether it is, normal situation or abnormal situation. Okay, these are 5 cases which I am asking you guys. I hope you understood what is trie block now. Okay, so in trie block, we are going to write risk code, okay, or doubtful code, risky code. Okay, in catch block, we are going to write exception. We are going to handle the exception in the sense. Come on. So here we are going to write handling the exception. Okay, handling the exception code you are going to write. Okay, then you have finally. Okay, finally block also, 3 blocks. So what is finally block? So finally block is nothing but cleanup code. Okay, you're going to write cleanup activity performing code you are going to write in the finally block. This is a use of catch block, trie block, and then finally block. Okay, and this is the code which I have written here, and for this I am asking you the case studies. Okay, case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5. Is that clear? As most of the students are not available in today's session, so I would like to just close the session here itself, giving an introductory session over exceptional handling, over try, catch, finally, throw and throws. We'll discuss in tomorrow's session. So we have just seen some case studies here. So I request all of you to please check once, twice, and understand the importance of try block, catch block, and finally block. Anyhow, we are going to see number of case studies, questions in tomorrow's session. Okay, fine. So I am expecting answers from you guys for case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, and case 5. Okay, for try, catch, finally block, you have 6 statements here. Accordingly, you can give me answers in tomorrow's session. Okay, I'll share this document in the LMS. I'll also share this recorded link onto my channel. You can just go through it. Is that okay? Vamshi, Srija, Jahnavi, Divya, Bhumika. Shall we close it for today now? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So you guys decide and let me know tomorrow what would be your convenient time. Accordingly, we can have a session for 45 minutes. Okay, as per your convenient timing. Just one of you can let me know in the group. Fine. So that's all for today's session. Yeah, if you are fine with 2 p.m., let's proceed with 2 p.m. Yeah, we do have lab session, right? Okay, I'll have it in 2 p.m. Okay. Yeah, we can have it at 2 p.m. Vamshi. Perfect. Right? So please practice on that. We'll see other case studies tomorrow. We'll have very beautiful session again. We'll see different ways of writing try, catch, finally, all combinations we'll see. Fine. So that's all for today's session, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for joining. You can leave the session, guys. See you all tomorrow. Thank you all.